Assalamu alaikum. Hope you all are fine. In this video, we will start a new chapter, that is aldehydes and ketones. So, firstly, we will see the carbonyl functional group before starting our first topic, that is nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones. So in the carbonyl functional group, there are a carbonyl group in which the carbon that has double bond with the oxygen atom, and the other two bonds with the hydrocarbons or R chain. As you can see the carbonyl group, and when we attached the carbon with the hydrogen from one side, it will form aldehyde group, and in the ketone the carbon that is directly attached with the oxygen group is further attached with two R chain or hydrocarbons, so it will form a uh, ketone, and these are all the functional group and the family of carbonyl group. So the other is the aldehyde nomenclature. So there are some rules that has to be followed for the naming of aldehyde. So the first rule is the aldehyde carbon is the number one. So when there is the aldehyde group attached on chain or on ring, the carbon that will given the number first. And as you can see in the first compound, this is the aldehyde group, and this carbon will be numbered as first carbon, or the chain numbering starts with this carbon. So this will be named as ethanol. And the other rule is the IUPAC name replace the last E with all. So as you can see, if this compound consists of two carbon, it will be named as ethane, and the last E will replaced with the all, so it will name it as ethanol. The other example is a long chain of seven carbon, on which two groups are attached, and this will be aldehyde group. So this carbon will number it as first carbon of the chain, and these are the groups that is attached on the carbon or substituents attached on the chain. The it will be named as the on the third carbon there is a methyl group, and on fourth carbon there is a bromine group. So it will be named according to alphabetically. So B comes before methyl M. So it will be named as 4 bromo 3 methyl heptanal. Nal for NaL, Al for aldehyde group. So the other example is the carbon that has aldehyde group attached with it. This will be the first carbon, and the numbering goes on towards the chain. How long the chain consists of four carbon, and it will be named as butane. So there is a group that is attached on the third carbon, that is hydroxyl group, so we will name it as 3 hydroxy butanol. And the other example is the aldehyde group is the first carbon, and on the second carbon there are two bonds present in on the chain. So it will be named as 2 pentene all. So this will be named as 2 pentene all, or pent means 5 carbons in the chain, and this on the second position there is a double bond and all for aldehyde group. As you can see, there is a third rule for the cyclic compounds, that is the if the aldehyde group is attached to a ring, the suffix carb aldehyde is used. So the suffix that comes after all the names attached with it, the other name, and suffix is the last name of the compound. As you can see, there are two compounds that has a ring structure and aldehyde group attached on it. So it will be named as cyclo because it is a ring compound, the cyclohexane, because the ring consists of 6 carbon atoms and carbaldehyde for the aldehyde that is attached with the ring compound. And the other example is the five ringed structure on which the aldehyde group and this carbon will be named as first carbon, and the other group is attached, that is a hydroxyl group. So we will start with the groups that is attached on the chain or ring. So on the second carbon there is a hydroxyl group, so we will name it as 2-hydroxy, cyclo for the ring structure, pentane because there are 5 carbons in the chain in the ring, and on the first position there is a aldehyde group, we will name it as carbaldehyde. So these are the some rules for the naming of aldehydes. And the other is the naming of aldehyde, in which we have to the simple rule in which drop the e of the compound name with this and change it with the suffix or to al. So as you can see in the below example, there is a 5 carbon chain, and when in the 5 carbon chain, when we attach aldehyde group, the name will change with pentane to pentanol. And the other example is also has 6 carbon atoms in the chain, and the first numbering starts with the aldehyde group, and it will be named as hexanol. And other examples are when there are 10 carbons is present in the chain, and aldehyde on its terminal carbon group, and it will be named as decanol. And when the 9 carbon present on the chain, it will be named as nonanol. And when the carbon are 8 carbon and in the chain, it will be named as octanol. And the other compound that contains 7 carbon, it will be named as heptanol. And the carbon with the the chain that consists of 6 carbon, it will be named as hexanol. So these are the nomenclature of aldehydes. And the other is the ketone nomenclature. So there are some rules as well as you can see in the naming of aldehyde, in which you can see there are 3 major rules. And we will see the ketone nomenclature, in which there are some rules to follow for the naming of ketone. So first is the basic rule, that is select the longest carbon chain containing the carbonyl group in which there is a ketone group attached on the chain. So we have to find out the longest carbon chain that has a ketone group or ketone group attached on it. And the other is the in ending of the parent alkane name is replaced by the suffix on. So as you can see ketone, it will be replaced the e of the ending compound name with the on. And the other is the number the chain starting with the end closest to the ketone group. The carbonyl carbon should have the lowest possible number. The location number for the ketone group precedes the number for the longest chain. So it is all the basic rules that the starting chain numbering will have we have to given the ketone group the lowest possible number to it. So the other is the name the substituents attached to the chain in the usual way, that is the alphabetic order and given to them because it is the basic rule of nomenclature. So as you can see, there are two compounds of ketone. We have to name it as you can see, the first compound, the carbon that is directly attached with the oxygen atom with the two bonds, and the other two bonds with the methyl group. So it has a common name, that is acetone, and it has also name as IUPAC name is propanone. So there are three carbon in the chain, so propane and uh, E will be changed with the on, so propane to propanone. So the other example is has five carbon chain, in which on the second carbon there is a ketone group, and ketone group that the carbon is directly attached with the oxygen with double bond. So we will have to write the number of the ketone group, that is the second, on the second position carbon there is a double bond oxygen attached to the carbon, and we will name it as pentanone, because we have to change or exchange the E to on. So the other name is methyl propyl ketone. Why we will name it as methyl propyl ketone? Because this is the ketone carbon in which one side has a methyl group and the other side has a propyl group, so we will also name it as methyl propyl ketone. So the other is the some examples of ketones, and we have to name it according to the rules, general rules. So basically on the first compound that has a ring structure present on it, in which on which there is a ketone group attached on the uh, chain, attached on the ring. We will name it as acetophenone as a common name, because the group that is attached on the ring is acetone, and phenone for the uh, ring that is attached with the acetone. So it is also named as methyl phenyl ketone, because uh, on the ketone carbon, one side is attached with the methyl group and other side is attached with the phenyl group. So we will name it as methyl phenyl ketone, because M comes before P. And the other example contains two phenyl groups, and because of two phenyl group we will add diphenyl ketone, and the other name is benzophenone. The other example is the ketone that has on the one side there is a methyl group and the other side isopropyl group, so we will name it as methyl isopropyl ketone. And its other IUPAC name is because the numbering starts from here, and 1 2 3, on the third position there is a group that is methyl group, so we will name it as 3 methyl, and on the second position there is a ketone group, so 2 butanone. And the other example is consists of 6 carbon chain, on which on the third position there is a ketone group attached on it, and we will name it as 3 for the position of ketone, hexanone. And the other example is the ketone that has one side attached with the ethyl group and the other side attached with the propyl group, so we will name it as ethyl propyl ketone. Ethyl comes before propyl because E comes before P on the alphabetic order. These are some examples of ketones, and this is the end of the top topic of the nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones. Take care. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.